At a very early age, I was diagnosed with a learning disability called dyslexia, and then later on also with ADHD. For those of you who don't know, dyslexia basically makes it very difficult to read and then also to write. And so it was really hard for me to learn how to read and write. In second grade, I could have a 20-word spelling test with simple words on it. And I would go home and study with my mom for 2 or 3 hours sometimes and go to school and still only get 80%. And that was gut-wrenching for me. A lot of my life was spent like that. It wasn't until 4th grade that my reading level really started to increase, and when it did, I believe it was the grace of God from the prayers of my mom, but there was also hard work that was put into it. We do our part, and then God does His, and neither part can be missing from the equation. From about 4th grade to 9th grade, I really wandered from the Lord, but just as He brought me back between 9th and 10th grade, I started to take a Latin class. When I took Latin, I felt like God was telling me that I needed to concentrate on it. And as I took it and was reading and practicing, I would feel the presence of God and feel Him teaching me things. And He actually started to just pour into me an understanding of language that I would have never had otherwise. Going on, I felt like I was supposed to go to college in my hometown of Columbia, Missouri, at the University of Missouri, and study linguistics and ancient Greek. I didn't really know why I was supposed to study these things, but that's what God was leading me to in times of prayer, so that's what I did. And my junior year, I had the probably one of the more, I don't want to say embarrassing spiritual moments, but it kind of was. I had been praying every Monday night that God would show me what He was going to call me into. My dad had been telling me since high school, hey, you should check out Wycliffe. And I was like, no, I don't want to do that. You know, if I'm a professor, I can mess up a class. If I'm a pastor, I can mess up a sermon. If I'm a Bible translator, I'm kind of afraid of the end of Book of Revelation. I don't want to mess up a word, or at least not translate Revelation. And and it was a Monday night, and I went home and prayed, and the Lord said, do you remember when I told you to look up Wycliffe about 2 weeks ago, and you didn't do it? And I said, yes, Lord, I didn't do it because I didn't want to. And that was the truth. The Holy Spirit must have put those words in my mouth because I wouldn't have said them on my own. But as I looked up some of the videos that Wycliffe has produced that we have, it might have even been on the About Us page, honestly, I just began to weep. And I knew that the Holy Spirit was calling me to this work of Bible translation. And so I signed up right there that I was going to be a Bible translator. I feel that God has called me to work in Nigeria as well as a consultant in training, in hopes that the words that Paul the Apostle wrote in 1 Thessalonians would be fulfilled in this people, and not only in Nigeria, but all around the world.